I'm not entirely sure where to start this video. I thought I might take a minute to introduce myself as I'm starting this channel. I only have one video uploaded right now, and I think by the time I upload this video, that will still be the only video I have uploaded. I thought I might take a minute to tell you about who I am. Today is my birthday. It's December 19th. And yeah, I thought maybe I could reflect a minute. My name is Rose. I am born and raised in Brooklyn. I still live here. I am married with two small children, a 4-year-old and a baby under 1. They're a boy and a girl, which is super fun to have one of each. I'm married to my college sweetheart. I wouldn't even call him my college sweetheart, like we met in college, but anyway, we're married. We've been together almost 13 years, so my life has pretty much smoothed out the way that I thought it would. It's kind of just evolved into where I'm happy. I have always had a creative side to me. I've really enjoyed creating throughout my whole life. I've crocheted, I've used to make jewelry as a kid, I would write short stories as a child, color, paint. When I was a kid, we used to have gallons of paint in the basement. We had a gallon of white, a gallon of red, blue, and yellow, and that was it. From there, we had to create the rest of the colors, which definitely fostered a huge sense of creativity in my life, and it really all is thanks to my mother. She really fostered that. When I was little, I also asked for a camera, and I got my first clear body pink film camera. I was maybe a 6-year-old, and I loved that thing. So I think it all kind of plays into who I am today. I still love to do a lot of those things. I've definitely upgraded the crafts, or the art, as you'd call it, throughout the years. You know, I'm using gemstones now when I'm creating jewelry, like semi-precious gemstones, like tiger's eye and rose quartz. I'm not really working with diamonds or gemstones. You know, I have always loved to do photography. For my 18th birthday, I got my first DSLR, and I'm still living with that, and I love it. I am crocheting more than I ever have before. I'm starting to use wool and cotton and natural fibers to create crochet projects. When I was little, I also learned how to sew, but I learned how to hand sew and how to hand embroider. So I'm definitely honing those crafts now, and yeah, I just love it. I love creating, and that really ties into what I want to talk about today. It's my 31st birthday, and I usually take my birthday as a time to kind of reflect on all that I've done this year, all that I've achieved, all that I've been, and all that I want to be in the coming year. And it definitely is great that it lines up with the fact that it's the end of December, so we're heading into a new year as well. But it's a new year of life for me. So I look at it more framed that way than I do calendar years. This is the end of the first year in my 30s, and I think it's been a really great year so far. I didn't have a minute to sit and reflect like I am right now. When I turned 30 last year, I was heavily pregnant, super sick, and I just couldn't fathom thinking about what the year was going to bring. But about midway through the year, after my baby was here and I was able to kind of just find myself and find a little bit of peace, I started to think back on my 20s and into my 30s and what I wanted that to look like. And retroactively, I've kind of decided that my 20s, like the overarching word for my 20s, is to achieve. You know, I worked really hard. I graduated college. I got my first job. I worked all the overtime I could to make myself great in my career. I got engaged and married. I had children. I bought a house, all in my 20s. And I definitely speed ran all of those achievements. So, and I just gave it away. My word for my 20s is to achieve. And not so much a word, but the verb, like what I'm doing in my 20s. So in my 20s, I was achieving. So looking forward to my 30s, I kind of wanted to think about what that was going to mean for me. And I came down to the word and the verb that my 30s are going to be about creating. You know, whether I'm creating a home, I'm creating traditions, I'm creating routines, I'm creating good habits, I'm creating art. I really want to get back into painting, and I want to make sure I'm creating beautiful embroidery pieces, and I just want to create. And I'm creating these videos. It's not the first time I've created around my real life. In college, I had my senior thesis was a podcast, so I had created that. In high school, I loved to do my makeup and create videos around that. They still float around on YouTube if you look for them and you know where to look. I created a lot of videos there, and that was a ton of fun, and I kind of just fell out of it. You know, college can get pretty busy, and I was a production major, so I already had a bunch of projects and filming I needed to do. That was just too much on top of it. But I want to get back into finding that creative spirit within myself. I've definitely lost it over the last 10 years as I've transitioned to working full-time, which is a huge change from being in high school and in college and having the free time to create. So that's what my 30s is going to be about. I'm trying to focus in on creating and just finding myself, you know, even not even just being 30, but being a mom of 2 young children. Where in that identity do I find myself? Who am I beyond it all? And I've been seeing a lot of people talk on TikTok, a lot of discourse around the fact that we are all so digital heavy right now, and we are scrolling endlessly, and I am such a victim of endless scrolling, and that was part of why I picked crocheting back up in general, was I needed something to do that wasn't scrolling on my phone. Sometimes it's hard to read a book with like children around, you know, putting it down, pausing it, not pausing it, but like putting a pause on reading. It's hard to pick it back up, or it's hard to remember where I left off. So crocheting was like the thing that I thought would really work for me, and it has. I've loved it. It's everything to me right now. But I want to continue expanding, and I want to make sure that I am continuing to build on myself as a person and not losing myself to the identity of mother or wife. And I'm hoping to take you along on that journey. You know, the tagline for my channel is creating a life I love. I want to create that through clothes that I can wear. I would love to start making my own clothes. I would love to make clothes for my children. I've started to crochet some pieces, you know, hats mainly, scarves. Next on my list is I really want to create like a sweater vest or a cardigan. I think that could be so much fun to be able to wear a piece that I made. I do find sewing a little hard with 2 small children, just like taking out my machine and setting it up and finding a space to cut all the fabric, but I'm learning to work around that. Part of being creative, I think, is finding a way to make the time. You know, we all live very busy lives, so to find the time to create in between that is a lot. It's creating opportunity. It's all the way you spin it and all the way that you make time for it in your life. In the creating and in leaning back into my creative side, I'm hoping to also learn. I'd love to start reading again, maybe some nonfiction on how to crochet or how to sew, or books on embroidery. My big plan for tomorrow, Saturday morning, the first Saturday of my 31st year. I want to go to the library. I want to check out some books. I'm trying to declutter my home, and also save money, so the library is going to be my best friend this year. And yeah, I don't think I have much else to say. Thank you for staying for this video, taking a minute to get to know me. I already have some more videos filmed for my channel, and I'm hoping to edit and upload them soon. Yeah, I hope you all have a great day, great rest of your day wherever you're watching from, and I'll see you later.